the school. Like I started noticing the different tag styles of the graffiti, and like the fat cap, like seeing a fat cap tag, and then like the cholos were just stock tip, they right on the ground and shit, and the taggers were doing more I guess prolific spots.
Were there any known taggers back then that you recall seeing up?
Oh yes,
that made an impression on you.
There was a crew called TSU tearing shit up. Zaba and C's, and ended up being friends of mine. Zaba ended up changing his name. He changed his name several times, but he ended up being the homie Shoot, who passed away, and was from one of the first crews that I got into. Because they recruited me. It was one of the first biggest crews I ever got into, and it was like the crew to be from in that area.
What crew was that?
D2D, Down to Destroy. I don't know if you've heard of it, but yeah, Down to D2D, D2DIS, which are LA-based crews from the harbor area. They were actually two separate crews, but they battled. This was before my time. They battled, and at the end of the battle, they clicked up, so it became D2DIS. But there's like some heads, and DIS is like what was hailing out of like Gardena. Well, like a lot of those dudes end up getting in Gardena 13. And D2D was like Long Beach, Carson area, and then they had a brand, because I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's click numbers. So there's like click numbers that would follow after the crew letters. So you would see like a number. That kind of came a little bit later, like maybe 94, late 93. And before that, it was just like your area code. So it'd be like D2DK 714, which is like where I was from. And then
were you in D2D before the battle happened?
No, I got in after the battle. The battle between D2D and DIS, I got in after that.
How did D2D win the battle?
I'm not sure who won the fucking battle. I think I'm not sure. Like if it was DIS or D2D, I'm not sure how.
But they did merge and become one.
Yeah, they merged and became one.
Before joining D2D, and after seeing 8Ball catch his tag, what name do you decide to write? Do you choose a name after hearing 8Ball's undercover name?
That was named back then. I can't even remember the name I had, but I remember what sticks out to me is or stands out to me would be Affect, AFEKT. That was one of my first names, but I didn't stick with it. But it's kind of cool because I look back at it now. I think it's kind of a cool name. But yeah, I wrote that for a little bit, and then I wanted to write Mega, but this other kid that I knew went to school in Whittier. I think he went to like a continuation. There was some dudes from WNA over there, and so that's like Norwalk area. He knew a little bit more about the LA scene than I did. They told me about the Mega or Omega from UTI. So like, you can't have that name. So what did I come up with after that? I'm not too sure exactly, but somewhere along the line, I remember this, like I was already in D2D. It's like around 92. There was like there's like trends in graffiti, like people write ER at the end of their name, to extend it, or ism. There was like the double E's were in, and they were kind of trendy, and it was like a double E at the end of your name. And I ended up writing, I chose his name Clee, C-L-E-E. And I wrote that for a long time. All my old school homies that I've known from back then, they still call me that. It's a trip because it's almost like I have two different personas, I would say, because like my homies out here, like they don't even, unless they really know me really well, they've heard the name before, but if not, then they're just like, who are they calling? Like, who the
How do you get the name Clee? Where does that name come about?
Like I chose it. I just chose that name.
Were there other names in the running before Clee?
For me?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean maybe, but they didn't stick. Like,
is Clee the name you're writing when you join D2D?
Yes.
How do you join D2D and make that connection?
Well, like they live like, earlier I was telling you they could like hop a wall and I'd be in a different neighborhood. There's one kid who wrote C's. He lived like right there. He was a little older than me, maybe like, when I was like a freshman, I got in D2D, and some of the D2Ds were already like out, like leaving. They're already like seniors, so they all were a little older than me. And they were just trying to once they saw me getting around, and like the homie Shoot, who Zabo that I was telling you about, he went to same elementary school as me, so he knew me already, and he was like he was a homie that kind of would school you up on how to be, you know, like don't let, he would tell me, you know, hey, don't let fools punk you, fucking, you know, if you're gonna get, you know, just take the beat down, you know, fucking, if it's coming and shit, instead of running around, like, instead of like, you know, fucking bitching out. And just, you know, stand your ground, because I was like, you know, I was a little kid, dude, at the time, and like the majority of the crew was a bunch of Samoans. Like that's how the D2Ds became, because the crew TSU tearing shit up was merged into D2D. They basically became D2D, and the OGs from there were the Samoan fools that went to Carson to church. It's like, so Samoans would go to church all day. And they ended up going to church with they went to church with other cats from D2D, like Cheat and like, you know, some of the homies that were out in Carson, and then that's how that came about. And so they basically just took their crew TSU and just merged, just got in D2D.
Why do they allow you in D2D? What made you stand out from other riders that made them want to recruit you into the crew?
You know, I really don't know, but like they had asked me before one time, and I kind of turned it down.